Hello everybody, this is the thejonnymar, and welcome back to Kirby's Adventure, the finale of my series that is co-op with my good friend Nakusoo.
What's up, everyone? So we're finally here for the finale on Rainbow Resort, and being a finale, I'm kind of sad because I really have enjoyed doing the commentary with you, Johnny.
Oh, I've enjoyed it as well, Nak. This has been an outstanding experience, and although it's not my first co-op experience, it's my first kind of prolonged co-op experience, and so it's been an awesome time kind of getting to do this wonderful game with you. And we're showing off here the kind of added benefit of the laser beam, which is being able to shoot at an angle as a Waddle Dee.
Waddle Dee.
Got me from behind, of course. We just can't get through even half a level without a frickin' Waddle Dee coming from my blood. And I know you are anticipating this, but of course our good friend Jave, after last episode, we talked a little bit about the fact that he had threatened to change his avatar. And what did he change his avatar to, Nak?
A Waddle Dee with a Met hat.
Oh my god, that was so ridiculous. So now Jave's avatar is a Waddle Dee with a Met hat on, combining his two favorite little characters that are the banes of my existence in Kirby and Mega Man. So thank you very much, Jave, because I know you're watching, and you are awesome, of course. Now, when I was playing this part of the level, I really was getting frustrated because the power that I have at this time is the laser power, and it is not very good at destroying these stupid little blocks. And we're not at a point where we can just Mario headbutt the blocks, either with Kirby. I'm not sure if that's a power he's gotten later in the series, but basically I didn't think to do the slide attack, which would destroy, a bunch at a time, until right about here, when I actually remembered it.
Yeah.
And got out of there without activating those Waddle Dees, thankfully. So this is actually, as you mentioned, Paul, the last area. I mean, this is the final world. Most Kirby games have 7 worlds. And this is Rainbow Resort, finishing off our good old Roy G. Biv in backwards fashion, as you mentioned many episodes ago. And I am just going to stay up here and avoid all of these enemies if possible. But I almost always get hit by this sword guy, so we'll see if that is actually the case or not.
Hopefully not. Nice.
Thank you. And I did not remember much about this level, actually, when I was playing. Now, I remembered somewhat about the other levels, but there is one particular stage in this level I did remember, and we'll talk about that in more depth when we get to it. But I do remember that there's a little bit of a boss rush here, and this seems to be a thing that they've incorporated into a lot of the Kirbys too, I think, at least in some of the games I've played, where they make you refight kind of the mini-bosses from throughout the game. Can you think of any of the other Kirby games where you have to do something like that?
I remember in Kirby Superstar you had to do something similar to this, taking an elevator up. I believe it's in the Meta Knight storyline.
Oh, the Meta Knight ship. That is such a frantic stage. I remember that so much, yeah. That's such a crazy thing. But yeah, so it wasn't like an elevator. And I know in this they do it. I know in Kirby's Return to Dreamland they actually do it as well. We have to take on the mini-bosses in quick succession. And fortunately, for whatever reason, they're giving me superpowers here. The mic ability, they gave me Crash previously. And so it's kind of weird that they're giving you all those powers, but as we use the mic there, it only took half his power, so now I'm kind of screwed here because now I have to actually do the fight the old-fashioned way, which is actually to use his abilities against him. So yeah, this is it! This is the end. It's kind of hard to believe that we've actually kind of gotten to this point. I mean, when we started this not too long ago, I knew it would end eventually, but yeah, it's not something I really thought about too much. And I'm sad, Nak. I don't know where you're at, but I'm sad that this whole experience is ending.
Yeah, me too, because, like you said, I mean, I guess this game isn't particularly too long. And, when you think about the end, you always know it's going to come, but when it comes, you're not really ready for it.
Yeah, I know. And it's always that bittersweet moment when you finish kind of a great game. And I think that's magnified to a certain extent with a Let's Play, because we've put so much time and effort into doing this. It's not just playing the game, it's actually, you know, thinking about what we want to say and the stuff we want to talk about and stuff like that going into the episodes. And it's like, once we're done with this, you know, that's it for this. You know, we're not gonna have to do that again. Although obviously we have some other plans for some other activities we're gonna be doing, but it's not gonna be Kirby's Adventure anymore, and yeah, that's really sad. Oh well, we're gonna have to move on from that, but you know, I think it's gonna be interesting here as we continue this episode, because you know, this really set the bar for Kirby games in terms of an ending that is really not kind of what you expect. You kind of have to be on your toes with a Kirby game, because the final boss is never kind of what you expect in a Kirby game.
Especially for some of the 3D Kirby games where you have to unlock the boss, or at least the final true boss.
Yeah, there's that final kind of true boss thing that goes on, so they always set it up with like either DDD or someone else is kind of the faux boss or the fake boss that you think is the final boss, and then it ends up being someone different. But not that that's going to happen in this game or anything.
That'd be crazy.
I know. I mean, why are we even talking about that? But there's my death, so we're going to see if I'm going to actually get through all 10 of my lives here with this stupid lion here who's beating my butt down. His pattern is just kind of difficult to get a handle on, because sometimes he jumps and then he just mauls the hell out of you.
I didn't know he could grab you while he's in the air.
Yeah, I know. He can grab you at any time, it seems like. He does this stupid little fireball attack. He just takes so long. It's like the other bosses I just burned through, and this guy, you know, it took extra time for me to actually beat him just for a stupid fireball ability. You'd think you'd get something more than that from him. But oh well, I think we're actually through now. We'll get the little warp star here. Get to see that in action. And then we'll move on to the next area. So this is called Rainbow Resort. And you can kind of see that element with the rainbow. And that's a pretty cool effect there, aesthetically.
Oh yeah, especially in the remake, Return to Dreamland, they added a bit more effects to make it more rainbowy, I guess you can say. Because that's totally a real word.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We'll go with it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is like the most terrifying stage in existence, because all it is these stupid sleepy guys. And I think, you know, you mentioned a couple episodes ago that you thought in the later games they actually restore health. And I think actually in one of your recent episodes of your co-op with Novell for Return to Dreamland, you actually found out that it does restore health.
That's a funny story, because when I ate one of them, I also ate a sandwich at the same time.
Oh.
And then Novell killed one of the other ones, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
So we're still not sure.
But I'm pretty sure they do. I think I read somewhere that they do.
But we're not 100% sure.
Well, no.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Stupid flying, stupid animal things. Do those things have names? I'm sure they do.
Bronto birds.
Bronto birds?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, but
Kind of weird. Thank you, Meta Knight, for another invincibility after I kicked your butt last time in a sword fight. It's kind of weird, you know, that they set that up with ending up having to take him on, and he had been giving you invincibility up to that point, and then he continues to do it. You would think they would have set him up as a boss maybe earlier in the game, and then once you beat him, you would start getting invincibility from him. Or if you beat him, then he would stop giving it to you. But I guess that's maybe thinking a little bit too much about the actual storyline here.
oh, that would actually be kind of cool. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe when you beat him, like you said, he won't give you any more candy because you're strong enough to not need it. But if you don't beat him, it could have been a different cutscene where, you know, he still gives you some help.
Yeah. we get the advantage of playing, you know, programmers and developers in hindsight. Obviously, they had to think of this stuff in the moment. I'm kind of creeped out by these dark versions of the characters.
I don't remember this.
Oh yeah? Yeah. I didn't remember it either when I was playing it. But yeah, everything is this kind of shadowed, darkened version. And my entire goal there was just to get to the end of the level so I could continue at the next part. But, oh well. So, someone actually mentioned in the comments that the ball power, you actually can become invincible with it. If you can actually get yourself going in terms of bouncing. But you actually have to do it for a little while before you can actually get to that point. Because initially, when I tried it and I ran into an enemy after a couple bounces, it just hurt me. So apparently I just wasn't using the power correctly, which, shocker, that I wouldn't know what to do with it.
I don't feel bad. I didn't know about that power either.
Oh. This is another little mini gauntlet here where you actually have to go through a bunch of rooms with the same types of enemies. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them in a row where you actually have to take on different enemies. So we got these little, I don't even know what they are, skull guys maybe? Can you tell what they're wearing?
Later on, and I know in Superstar, I believe they're changed to ninjas. They give you the ninja power because they're climbing on walls.
And they were did you see him throw a little star?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense with the ninja power. By the way, ninja power in Return to Dreamland, awesome. One of my favorite powers in that game. You get to do so many awesome things with it. And that's a great segue. So you guys have played a little bit more of that game. What are you thinking of it so far?
I think it's a really freaking fun game, especially when I'm doing the co-op. And to be honest, it's kind of a hard game for a Kirby game.
Do you have like a favorite power so far, or a favorite enemy or boss, or anything that you've kind of experienced to this point?
So far, I think maybe the sword or the beam, because you could do a lot of cool stuff with the beam. Especially the super beam, which I just got in the last episode with Nobel. Where, you know, you could get that whole giant ball and kind of control it with the remote.
Yeah, that's awesome, but they really get kind of annoying and disturbing with that in later levels. So you're gonna learn to not like that as the game progresses.
I'm sure it's gonna get tedious.
I don't mean to burst your bubble or anything. Maybe I do. But here, this is another super annoying little gauntlet here. Look at this. Nuclear bomb after nuclear bomb after nuclear bomb. So when I first played it, my thought was just run underneath them, but that does not work. You get nailed by all of them. So yeah, if you stay above them, you're able to actually stay out of their range, and you can actually avoid most of that damage. And here we have just the random room in the middle of nowhere that you just can't escape. It's so weird. Look at that background too, with the little circles.
Looks like someone just drew that.
I know, with like a crayon or something. And they give you the power, and then look what they make you go into. Like, there is no way the wheel power would be helpful in this. Because this is a level where it's pits, and you'll notice the stars, and whatever direction that the stars are going in, it's
ouch,
pushing you up or down. So when the star comet is going down, that means it's pushing you down. And when it's going up, as you saw there, Kirby went flying to the top of the screen because it's actually pushing you up instead. So you have to be very careful about how you go across these platforms, and these stupid fireball guys chase you.
Jeez.
And if you're not careful, like happened a little bit ago, they'll actually knock you into the pit, and then you're done for. Instant KO.
You know what I was thinking about?
What's that?
I wonder, did they get some of the thought process in the third Kirby game, because in the third one it's all like crayon drawing looking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You know, that would make sense. Yeah, the art style of the third game is pretty radically different with that style. Here we got the little cannon, and I do not know how to do this. Like, I tried a couple times, but the timing of this, it goes so fast. And it's actually like right at the end of the level, so I'm assuming it takes you to a secret. But yeah, I couldn't figure this out. Do you have a sense of what it takes you to actually?
No, it's been quite a while since I went there, but I would assume it takes you to a secret since there's always going to be one secret, and that looks like it's hard enough to justify it being a secret.
Yeah, in the last world, so that would make sense. But here we go! The most awesome level as I go back into level 5 accidentally. But when I saw this the first time, I was just absolutely amazed.
Holy.
Look at that.
Oh my god. I haven't like played or at least beaten Nightmare Dreamland or this one in a long time. I forgot it took you all the way back to the classic.
Yep, they have a retro Kirby's Dreamland level. And it's almost like identical to the actual Dreamland. It's a shortened version of all of the levels from the original, but it's the music, it's the same enemy placement, it's everything. Except obviously Kirby is himself, not the retro style. But when I played this the first time, I was smiling ear to ear while I did this level because it was just so amazing. And I had just got done playing Dreamland. So that was so cool to be able to actually do this level. Such a great homage to the original.
I wish they'd do that in the future with a 3D one. That would be interesting to see it like in 3D.
Oh yeah. Like if they actually upscaled it and changed it. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And there's not a boss though. That's kind of crappy.
Oh.
And they have each of the levels that are homaged here from the 4. Was it 4 or 5? I think DDD's castle was the 5th level.
Yeah, it was the 5th.
So yeah, it's the 4. Because DDD's castle was just the boss rush. But yeah, so charming. Kirby's charming already. But you'll notice, same kind of basic layout, but the levels are shorter in general, so they cut out some of the stuff, obviously. You'd think I'd be able to avoid that, but I don't.
I know they also did a remake version on, I believe, Superstar Ultra, which was Kirby Superstar, but a redone version for the DS. And in that one, everything is like on hard mode.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, hard mode. I've done hard mode, and that was horrible. That is such a difficult change to this original, very easy game. I mean, you did an awesome job when you did your playthrough. I don't think you didn't die at all, did you, when you did your playthrough?
Luckily, no. I almost died a couple times. It took me a lot of attempts in order to not die and do that as a speed run.
Yeah. And I know when Jave did it, he actually put it so that he could only get hit once before he died. And so his challenge was he wanted to do it just on the original number of lives, with each hit being a death. And I don't think he died at all either. Maybe once or twice. But yeah, he did a really good job. You made me both look really silly, because I died a lot when I played it. Here we go. Unfortunately, that is the end of that very charming, awesome retro level. But at least I got a 1-up.
A nice way to end that level, at least.
I know. It's a nice microcosm for the ending and finale of this series. Looking to the past as we continue on into the future. But here we go, the final boss of the game. Right? Final boss?
That's the final boss.
Of course, it's gotta be the final boss. It's DDD.
Not noticing the background there.
Nope, I'm not paying attention to the background whatsoever. And this is also an homage to Kirby's Dream Land. DDD's pattern is essentially exactly the same as in Dreamland. He only has one new move, which is his floating move. So he'll actually puff up into a ball and come after you right there. And he'll bounce. So as long as you actually stay close to him, he won't hit you.
Oh.
But all of his other moves, his suck, his hammer, his jump, that's all taken directly out of Dreamland. Death.
Ah.
You didn't think I'd actually beat him on the first try.
Yes, I thought you were gonna do the same thing you did in Kirby's Dreamland and like beat him with 1 health left.
Well, Knack, interesting that you should bring that up. Because we're gonna have, and this was not planned, but we might find that this fight with DDD ends up being very similar to my Dreamland experience. And he's fun. I mean, you're player 1 in Return to Dreamland, but you can actually play as him in that game, and he's pretty fun in there. I don't like that they got rid of his suck ability, but, you know, it's pretty cool that you can use his hammer and do a lot of the hammer abilities.
Yeah, I may have to actually play as the second player so I can just play as DDD. And also, Wado D.
It's a bandana D. It's totally different. It's got a spear. Jester actually corrected me on that when I brought that up. But yeah, the Waddle Dee's pretty cool in that with the spear and the bandana. Watch out. Like, I don't think I would have done as well against him in this version if I hadn't played Dreamland, because obviously I lost to him numerous times in Dreamland, so I had a sense of his pattern.
It's nice that they kept the pattern roughly the same.
Mm-hmm. Kind of an homage to the original, in a way.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe like the last world kind of leads up to this point, so it's kind of like you're playing the original game again.
Mm-hmm. And obviously this is the final boss, so this must be the end of the game, so we'll see what happens here. And maybe I was being a little bit facetious when I said it would be similar to Dreamland. Bam! Oh. And that's it. That's the end of the game. And what? Fountain of Dreams? Paul, what is this?
Are you playing the hacked version?
I am not. I'm playing the original. Why is DDD freaking out here?
I always thought this part was like kind of creepy, or not creepy, but weird because Kirby like didn't listen to DDD.
He actually gets a little like angry look on his face if you look very carefully. DDD's hanging onto his leg there, and Kirby's like, "Get the heck off my leg!" But yeah, this blew me away the first time I played. I was like, wait a minute, why? DDD's not the end? Nope, not the end. The first shooter stage in a Kirby game. Crazy.
And this is definitely relentless. I remember having a lot of trouble against this boss just because he barely do a lot of damage to him, and he does like a lot of different attacks.
And he changes it up too. Like, he changes his pattern as the battle progresses. So like you get a sense, jeez, of what his pattern is. And then some of these projectile attacks, he actually changes the, like he'll start doing it at diagonals and stuff. And so you don't expect that, and you end up getting hit. And depending on how much life you have left, like right here, see how it switched to a diagonal pattern there? When he did it at first, it was straight. And he's getting faster.
Holy crap.
It's a war of attrition at this point. I'm down to the last little pip. Oh man.
Oh, that was close.
Oh man. There's your like Dreamland. Just beat him. And obviously I was sweating bullets because, you know, if I died there I would have had to redo the whole fight.
Yeah.
But of course, again, a staple in the Kirby series, that is not it. We have a second form to the final boss as he's in the background there. And then he destroys my warp star.
Oh, now things are getting serious.
I know, and I have 1 health left. I'm sure this will go well.
Come on, he can do it.
Uh-huh, yep. Oh yeah, this is gonna go great. So as you can see, you got to use the star rod. That's your power. And there's only one weak spot on this boss, and that is his tail. So when he opens his cape like that, you'll notice his tail is flashing a different color.
Ouch.
But yeah, luckily, since I did beat the shooter stage, we get to start right here. So this guy has a lot of different patterns of attack, and basically you can stop his attack by hitting his tail. So like right there, I was able to stop him mid-attack. And again, this is a good setup for later bosses that have this kind of really creepy, I don't even know what he is. He kind of looks like a vampire.
Yeah, I was getting a vampire vibe from him.
Except he's got a massive chin. Did you notice that?
A glorious chin.
Oh, a glorious chin. I'm sorry. It's something that always bothered me in platformers, the way that enemies can just run into you and cause damage. You know, you would think that would cause some damage to the enemy too. But that was really like on display like in Mega Man 1 when you have to take on your clone. And you're fighting Mega Man and he just runs into you and does like a quarter of your damage. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I really never got that myself.
Oh yeah? You're so pro that you just never had that happen?
No, I mean, I never got that, like, why do they hurt you?
Oh, okay. So you're agreeing with me then.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
Yes, alright, yes, we're on the same page, the same wavelength here. But now he's just getting frustrating here. Because he's starting to do things, and when I'm trying to attack, I'm just missing him. So I'm getting these opportunities to hit his stupid tail, and every time I try, I'm like missing his tail by like 1 inch. And when he does this, you actually have to hit him from behind. But look at that. I'm jumping and shooting, but the stars are not coming out of the stupid rod. Do you have a sense of this character's name?
Think it might be Nightmare. I think that's why it's called Nightmare in Dreamland on the remake.
Not very creative.
But, you know, like I want to expand where you were saying, like, it's really creepy that, you know, all the last bosses are usually, like, super serious, not looking like it would fit in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, I know on Kirby 64, like, it's I don't know, it's like a flying eye thing.
Yeah. Yeah, the final boss in Kirby 64 is really weird. And I think most people, again, aren't even aware of that because you have to get all of the crystal shards to get them. So, if you have not seen the final boss, viewers, check out Novel's Let's Play of that because he actually went through the time and effort as I finally beat the boss.
Yay!
To actually get all the crystal shards and show off the final boss, and took him like 20 minutes to beat the final boss too. And now, the moon. Apparently Kirby took a big bite out of it.
So that's why it's a half moon.
Apparently. Not exactly sure what happened there. Well, and we have the rod going back into the Fountain of Dreams here.
Wow, that took some skill throwing it that far.
I know. He's got some abilities. Stars everywhere. Makes me want to play Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars.
Oh yeah, that was another classic game.
That's one of my favorite RPGs ever. And now they show off all of the bosses, and they show you, I guess, powers that you should use against them, but obviously these powers are not necessarily available. But we need to wrap up here, because this is the end of the game. We have defeated Kirby's adventure. We have gone all the way through this story. Not 100%, but it's definitely been an outstanding experience. I do want to say thank you, Paul. I really enjoyed having you on this series with me. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I think you brought a lot of information that would have been lacking if I would have done this by myself. So I do want to say thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to have done this and, you know, just relived Kirby with you. Because it is something that I have played during my childhood, and it has meant a lot. Especially since I love the Kirby character.
Where would you kind of put this game in terms of your all-time rankings?
Probably my top 3.
Is Superstar number 1?
Yes.
I haven't played it enough. I would love to be able to put that higher, but I've only played it one time, so... Once I get through it again, I'm going to be playing it with Jester in the near future. So maybe that'll change as we get there. But here we are wrapping up. So viewers, I hope you enjoyed this experience. Again, thank you very much, Paul, for joining me on this journey. I've enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all next time, folks. So long.
Later, everyone.